his female attorney is not talking to me because I told her she dropped the ball and messed up the bond hearing.
Damn. Drama. The YNW Melly double murder trial continues to be a complete shit show. Communication with Melly's mom and his defense lawyers is apparently halted. Alright boys, we have a few motions to read here, and then towards the end of this video I'm going to watch Melly's mom talk on her Instagram live about the whole situation. For some reason a lot of mainstream websites also reported that this trial was delayed, and it was literally false. It's not officially delayed yet, it's just the defense team thinks it might be at some point. I don't think it's going to get delayed though based on what the judge has been saying. Alright, motion to compel Detective Christina Luna to answer questions pertaining to her involvement in this investigation. Defendant Jamel Demons, bind through his undersigned counsel, requests this honorable court to enter an order compelling Detective Christina Luna to answer all questions concerning her involvement in the investigation of above mentioned case. Alright, defendant's charged with 2 counts of murder, blah blah blah. I believe this is pertaining to the investigation into Raven Liberty. When they got a search warrant for her entire Apple account, apparently had a taint team that looked at a lawyer's phone, which is crazy to me still, but whatever. Defendant's charged with witness tampering, blah blah blah. The state of Florida has represented that both this case and the tampering case are interrelated and will use evidence from the tampering case and its presentation to the jury in this case. Yeah, they think it's an admission of guilt that he was keeping his girlfriend away and sending her coded language, keep ASAP Rocky's baby mama in the Maybach. State of Florida executed a search warrant on a member of the defense team, Raven Liberty, and failed to disclose this fact for over 1 year. State of Florida alleged that the execution of the search warrant on Raven Liberty's Apple account was part of an ongoing investigation and not subject to disclosure. And that was literally a lie. It's not an ongoing investigation. The judge even disagreed, saying there's no ongoing investigation here. He shot it down. In my video like a month or two ago, he straight up said that's not true. It's not an ongoing investigation. January 27th, the court entered an order in part that stated this court does not agree that the search warrant is part of an ongoing investigation, that Attorney Liberty has not been arrested, nor is she the defendant in any pending prosecution, despite the fact that the state has been in possession of the information produced as a result of the search warrant for over 1 year. This court also gave the state an opportunity to appeal this order, and they failed to do so they never filed an appeal. The affiant of the search warrant on Attorney Liberty's Apple account is Detective Christina Luna. March 12, 2025, Christina Luna appeared for the deposition, and Assistant State Attorney Justin Griffiths was present. During the deposition of Detective Luna, undersigned counsel provided her a copy of this court's order indicating that there's no ongoing investigation on Raven Liberty. And if you missed my previous video on this, Justin Griffiths, the state attorney, during this deposition looked at the defense and said, well, the judge is wrong. This is an ongoing investigation, and she's not going to answer questions that you're asking. During a deposition, the state attorney interrupted and stopped the detective from answering questions. And the detective suddenly started saying, no, I'm not going to answer that. It's an ongoing investigation too. When the judge literally ruled there's no ongoing investigation in the Raven Liberty. During the deposition, Detective Luna, the state stated that despite this court's order, there exists an active investigation. This court was wrong. Detective Luna refused to answer any questions relating to this preparation, execution, and the information obtained from the warrant on Raven Liberty's Apple account. By agreement with the state, the deposition of Detective Luna was recessed until this matter is resolved with this court. Next thing we have here, state's motion to continue unilaterally set hearings on defense motion for rehearing and defense motion to compel. In open court, May 6th, the parties agreed to set a hearing and defense urgent motion for an order to show cause against the office of Broward State Attorney Harold F. Pryor and John Phillips for June 20th. Next week, and I'm going to be out of town, sadly, so I might not be able to get that done until 2 days later on the Monday. At the time above the hearing, the undersigned attorneys indicated that neither were available on June 20th. However, the motion being set was going to be argued by Assistant State Attorney Stephen Klinger, so that particular motion was fine to be set for June 20th. So what this is building up to be clearly right here is the state is going to say they aren't available for June 20th to argue any other motions. Can pretty much guarantee it. I can just tell by the wording. On May 27th, counsel for the defendant filed their motion for a hearing. On June 2nd, 2025, this court's judicial assistant unilaterally set the motion for rehearing for June 20th. On June 4th, counsel for the defendant filed their motion to compel and asked this court for a hearing date. No inquiry was made of the state's availability, which would include prospective witnesses. So they plan on having witnesses as well. Undersigned counsel informed the court that June 20th hearing date was scheduled because it was the date ASA Klinger was available, and as previously noted in open court, that none of the 3 assigned attorneys to this case were available. This court's judicial assistant never responded to the state. Huh? How is that possible? The court's judicial assistant never responded to the state. How? I don't understand how shit like that happens. The state reached out to them and said, yo, we're not available. How are you not responding? That's your job. On June 5th, 25, the undersigned counsel again informed the court that the assigned state attorneys were not available. Again, this court's judicial assistant did not respond. What is going on? Why? This is just going to delay this court hearing, despite responding to emails from defense counsel during the same time period. Whoa. Big accusations. They're intentionally ignoring us. The motions defense seeking to have heard are not emergency motions. This case is currently stayed pending appeal, the oral arguments of which are set for September 16th, which I don't understand how that's going to work. This trial starts September 10th, but the oral arguments for this appeal is September 16th. The same week. I don't understand. Defense would suffer no prejudice and this court setting the hearings for dates a mutually agreeable date for which all parties are available. The only word to describe this is it's a shit show. Summer is here and you can finally spend all those days outside hanging out with your friends. And the number one thing you don't want to be doing all summer is staying inside cooking all day. That's where Factor comes in. Factor's chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals are ready in just 2 minutes, taking the hassle out of eating well. Factor meals arrive fresh at your door, ready to eat for any active lifestyle. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your summer gains and goals. You can choose from options like Calorie Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. I've personally gone with the Protein Plus option because I started lifting again the past few months and I've lost like 14 pounds, but my weight in the weight room has gone up. And I really think it was the Protein Plus meals that have helped me through all this. Factor powers your day from sun up to sundown. With nutritious breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts, Factor has your entire day covered so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Get Factor if you want all the flavor and none of the fuss. Get started at factormeals.com/cuff50off and use code cuff50off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code cuff50 off at factormeals.com/cuff50off to get 50% off your first box. Factormeals.com/cuff50off. Thank you, boys. Back to the video. Here we go. Now we have some insight from Melly's mother. She's emotional in this Instagram live because she thinks the trial is getting delayed because she has no contact with his lawyers. His mom is not speaking to his lawyers. You're going to see why right here.
Oh, I know everybody probably has like a lot of questions about what's all over the blogs. Yeah, I need Brad to really like talk to Trump, or I'm going to try to make a petition. I'm going to be working with somebody to help set up a protest.
Brad. She's talking about Bradford Cohen, the lawyer that was initially on this case in 2019. He can't do nothing with Trump. Well, he probably knows Trump. I think he was his lawyer or something. Trump can't do shit with this case. This is a state's case. So I don't know what she means. Maybe just a petition?
I'm a little emotional because I just found out when all of you just found out about his trial being delayed to 2026, I guess.
It's not delayed officially.
I haven't been on my phone for real. I just seen this now. And I've been trying to call his lawyers and get an update and see what's going on. But the thing is, his female attorney is not talking to me because I told her she dropped the ball and messed up the bond hearing.
Damn. Drama. Raven Liberty and Melly's mom aren't speaking because she told her she fucked up the bond hearing. I have 2 other lawyers that I talked to on Twitter that were astonished at how bad his team did at the bond hearing. They seemed completely unprepared. When the judge shot down the witness they wanted to put up, the psychologist or whatever that interviewed Melly, the way they explained it was terrible. The judge said, fuck no, we're not doing all that. And then Raven Liberty just talked for like 5 or 10 minutes and that was it. And it was just a complete shit show. Legit, I've had 2 lawyers say this shit was terrible. So I can see why she's mad. And now Raven Liberty is probably mad at her or annoyed and saying, all right, I'm not going to talk to you then.
And I guess because of that, they are not communicating with me. So I don't know what's going on in his case. And Jamil still has no phone calls and he has no communication whatsoever. And I'm sure he doesn't know that I don't know what decisions they're making and things that they're doing. I'm sure that he would have got bond if the bond hearing was handled correctly.
Not true. I know she's trying to be positive because it's her kid, but this is kind of delusional. He's accused of killing his 2 best friends. This is a capital murder case. They're not going to let anyone out on bond with those charges, bro. The judge even said that even with these charges, you're not getting out, bro. You could offer me $50 million. I can't do it. You have capital murder charges, bro.
No, they can't prove it, but Broward is very crooked and they've had a lot of time. And Broward is the type of place that they don't care if it's wrong or right. They don't want to lose. And they're going to keep holding him and keep holding him and keep holding him.
There's evidence that Melly did this. It's whether or not they can prove it in court is a different story. Remember, Bortland dropped off those bodies. The police had no idea Melly was even in that car until they saw the footage of him getting in the car. Bortland never told them about Melly whatsoever. He said they were in a drive-by. Police didn't even know Melly was in the car until they saw the studio footage of him walking to that back seat. And then they realized the ballistic report doesn't match the bullet holes on the car. So then they're like, whoa. These guys got shot point blank range pretty much from inside the car. And there's a guy we have on camera that suddenly wasn't there. They got dropped off somewhere in the woods. There's definitely evidence that points to Melly. It all depends on if the state can actually prove it beyond a reasonable doubt to this jury.
It's too late to change lawyers. Trial is in 4 months or I don't even know what's going on with trial. His lawyers haven't talked to me yet.
This is insane. Trial's in like 3 months, bro. Exactly 3 months. He can't change lawyers. That's pretty much impossible for this type of case. And they're not even talking to his mother, and he probably has no idea about it because he can't talk to anyone because of the witness tampering shit.
They've been doing him wrong. They're trying to make him crazy. I mean, anybody would be losing their mind if they're in isolation for almost 4 years, complete isolation. He's not with no other inmates. He's on a cell block by himself. Just him and one other guard that's not allowed to speak to him. He doesn't have phone calls. He doesn't have visitation. Only thing he has is his books to read and the walls.
If you think about it, people that are convicted in prison have better conditions than that. I don't think this trial's getting delayed. I can't believe big blogs reported that without really anything to go by. Comment down below what you guys think. Hit subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.